Welcome to Trivial Debates.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Trivial Debates. We have some awesome new debates for you this week with an awesome host, which is me, Jody Simpson. Each week, our panelists will be judged and scored on their arguments for facts, passion, and creativity, and I'm kind of with Jeff on this one. I don't give a fuck about facts. Our panelists this week are
Tim Seymour,
Kevin Millard,
and Eamon Mader, hoping to win for the second time I'm playing. I did not win the first time, but I did get a nickname out of it, which is a pretty sweet deal.
The Thunderbird!
The Thunderbird!
Kevin definitely does it better. Alright, so how the show works, there are 6 rounds. Whoa. Rounds?
You're Bane!
You think I can do the rest of it? I was born in the dark podcast. So how the show works, we have 6 rounds plus a speed round by our top 2 panelists. The categories are music, television, music, sports, history, and of course...
You said music twice!
Did I say music twice?
Yeah. You said
I'm drunk, damn it! Alright.
No, you're not yet.
I mean, not yet.
In
Sorry.
case people don't know.
By the way, this is absolutely happening at the beginning of the show. And it wasn't recorded at the end. We want people to be passionate about their arguments, but not personally mean, which I, by the way, am okay with. So I don't know why this is still in there. That is so stupid. Why do we have that in there?
I think it's important to say so that we
Stop being a fucking hippie bitch and take it out. Keep in mind that you can also skip to a new debate by looking at the index in the description and going into the battles that interest you the most. Because I'll tell you right now, the sports one won't. Not that I would have any foreseen knowledge of that. So make sure you subscribe to our iTunes feed. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google, Instagram, Tinder, whatever you want. It's all good.
This part is longer than the podcast.
I know. That's why we did it at the beginning. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we want to get out of the way. We get all our talks out of the way.
Yeah, whether you're listening on iTunes or watching the YouTube version, all links and information can be found in descriptions for all the episodes on our website. Which, Dave, where is it?
At trivialdebates.com. I have to go do an interview.
No, Dave's got to go do an interview, so I'm in charge now. Let's get started. Let's do some debating. So we decided we're going to have like kind of a theme round, a theme podcast today because I'm running it. And if I'm running it, it's my show. So that's pretty much where it is. All right, anyway, so let's get started. I need a ding-ding. Where's my
Ding, ding, ding.
Here's my ding-ding. All right, so...
That is a soundbite.
There's my ding-ding.
There's my ding-ding. It's right there. Let's not worry about it, gentlemen. I found my ding-ding. So anyway, our first question is movies. What is the worst character from a video game that was used in a movie? So this has to be a movie that obviously exists.
Yes.
And of course, it has to be horrible, which shouldn't be that hard to find. So I think, who are we going to start with? I think we'll start with Tim today. We're going to start with the Seymour. Let's get the Seymour passion right out now.
My answer for this is an obvious answer. It is King Koopa from Super Mario Brothers, played by Dennis Hopper.
Oh, terrible movie. Oh, terrible.
Worst video game movie ever, obviously, is Super Mario. You could have 20 answers for this question out of that movie.
Oh,
But
really?
It's terrible.
But Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. King Koopa is a giant fucking lizard in the game. With big spikes on his back.
Yeah, kind of like a dragon kind of
In the fucking movie, Dennis Hopper has blonde hair with spikes.
It's like...
That's what makes him the fucking
like
King
going up the
Koopa.
back.
Yeah, and he was in like a suit the whole time.
Yeah, how is Dennis Hopper King fucking Koopa?
That's a good point.
Dennis Hopper is like freaking 60 years old with blonde hair and spikes.
Well, keep in mind though, this was made in what, early 90s, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that, in his 50s, you're King Koopa with blonde hair with freaking spikes.
That was around the same time he did Speed.
Yeah, and that was a
Speed was
great
what,
fucking
94?
movie. That was a great movie.
Must have been on speed to pick up that script and be like, hey, let's do this fucking movie. I'm real popular.
That is a fucking role for Dennis Hopper. A fucking villain who's a fucking psycho, deadbeat fucking guy.
Isn't that
blowing shit
exactly
up.
what he was as King Koopa?
He wasn't blonde with bright fucking hair representing a lizard.
Alright, fair enough.
He's a fucking lizard in the fucking game with big spikes on his back. He had no spikes on his back, and he was a fucking guy with blonde hair and spikes who's old.
So other than physical appearance, what makes him terrible? Why is
It's
he
King
the worst
Koopa.
character?
It's King fucking Koopa.
So you're basically saying the representation of him was the biggest problem.
I'm saying the representation was terrible. Also, he is a terrible fucking character to make a leading role. Of all people in Mario games,
That's true because
that
I
you
think
could
he
give a
probably got
leading
top
role
billing
to?
on that movie too.
like,
didn't
do most people
Except
even,
that Yoshi.
but do most people
that
even know who
Yoshi-
King Koopa is? Do people even know there's a king of the Koopas?
Yes.
he? Yeah, I think most people do.
Yeah, I think lots of people do.
But he's not a leading role in any of the games.
Well, they have to have a main villain. It's a movie.
But you don't make it a deadbeat guy in the games.
All right, fair enough.
You make it a star of the games.
All right, you good?
I'm good.
All right, Millard, let's hear it.
I was also thinking of King Koopa because
So he's already agreeing. My
I
opinion
picked
is good.
no.
That's true.
Because
I
I
heard something
also
like that.
picked a character from this piece of shit movie.
Oh.
Because I was looking for a list, or on a list of movies from video games, and realized I've seen none of them. Just Resident Evil, that's it. Other than that, I've
Which,
seen
when it comes to video
none of
game
them.
movies, not the worst.
So, because I actively stay away from video game movies. So I picked him, and then I tried to watch the movie. Or I picked Mario from this movie. Bob Hodgkins as Mario.
Which physically, not a
But
terrible.
Physically good.
But Mario
But-
is a good character.
And he wasn't. He's a bitter,
No, he was a bitter old
fucking
bastard
jerk.
in
He's
the movie.
basically his
In the
character
movie. Yeah.
from Roger Rabbit with a slight Italian flair.
Yeah, the
I wouldn't
whole time-
even say an Italian accent.
The
He
whole
didn't
time
even
you
do a
watched
good
that
job of
movie,
it.
you thought
It's
Mario
brutal.
was like a divorced drunk guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like-
brutal. It's absolutely brutal. He's brutal in it, and the reason I didn't pick King Koopa is because I never made it in this movie to a scene that had King Koopa in it. I watched
Which he
25
gets introduced-
minutes and went, fuck this movie, I'm done.
Yeah, he
I'm
doesn't
not
get
watching
introduced-
this.
If I remember, he doesn't get introduced for like probably.
I
30
realized
minutes or
I
so.
realized that Dennis Hopper was going to be King Koopa early on, and just went, I can't even wait for that. This movie is so fucking bad.
It is bad.
But it doesn't. The thing is by 1993, we kind of know that Mario has a character. He has he's happy. He's it's Mario and whatever. And Bob Hodgkin he didn't play it right. He played it as this angry, like you said, this angry divorcee kind of guy that's just hates his brother, hates everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal.
All right, Eamon.
I'm laughing it up because I also picked a Mario Brothers character. I picked Luigi from Super Mario Brothers.
Wow, so all three of you guys picked
Picked
the
Super
Same fucking movie.
just a different character in the same movie.
I picked this movie sight unseen. I had never
Hey,
seen
you
the
just
movie.
said you've seen
You just
25
said you saw
minutes.
25 minutes of it.
I picked it before I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anyways, can I just point out the difference in age between Luigi and Mario? Luigi's supposed to be like minutes younger than Mario, but in this movie, Bob Hoskins' character looks like he's in his 30s, and Luigi's character looks like he's in his 20s.
I would say Hoskin looks more like
More like he's in his 50s.
45, 50s, yeah. But
I mean,
I
your
get the
point is sound.
The point is sound, yeah.
And Luigi doesn't act like Luigi does in Mario games. See, Luigi kind of comes off as this character who is the comic relief in the Mario games. He's this coward, but he tries to act cool, but he ends up as a coward. But in this movie, he feels way more couragely than Bob Hoskins' character.
Okay, but I'm going to stop you on that because you got to remember when this movie was put out. This movie was put out
1993,
in 93.
Luigi didn't have much of a
Luigi
personality.
didn't have any personality at that
Yeah.
point. He was
That's
just
true.
that secondary character, right? So I'm not going to say that point's going to help you.
Anyways.
Anyway, keep going.
He's still terrible, trust me. I almost
Absolutely,
picked
I'm
him
still
too.
with you.
Anyways, I think he's
And the age
worse than
difference
Mario.
definitely is right.
I think he's worse than Mario because of that. Like he tries to put on an Italian accent, but he tries to put on something.
Well, it's like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
hey Mario,
Yeah.
That's
look
not
at
Brooklyn
the
at all.
fungus. You gotta trust the fungus.
Wow,
What?
He's quoting the movie.
He actually
That's
should get
good.
points just for the accent.
He might. I'm just telling you right
It was, yeah.
Anyways, what I'm
I
saying
would give
is
him
that
points for
it
that
isn't
and-
what you think of when you think of an Italian plumber jumping on Goombas.
Does anybody jump on anybody's head in this movie? I only watched 25 minutes.
No, but
No.
they do jump. Eventually.
Another reason why
They
this
do.
movie's
Well,
a piece
yeah,
of
in the
shit.
end they do.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, 'cause they
but
have
we've
these
already
dudes.
all agreed the
Yeah.
movie sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all agreed.
All right. So Tim, give me a quick summary on why your character is worse than the other two characters that were just mentioned.
Because the two characters they mentioned
And I mean quick.
are actually good characters in the game. I picked a character who's a piece of shit, who's not even should not be a star in the movie. They pick characters that should be stars in the movie. Mine should not have led.
Yes, you should have.
King Koopa
What do you think of
is
Super
not a
Mario Bros?
star,
What do you think
I don't
of
know.
the bad guy?
King Koopa was kind of a dick in
Bowser.
but he's
King
not a
Koopa.
star. And when did Mario 3
no, he
come
wasn't
out?
a star in
When did
Mario
Mario 3 come out?
91. No, 90.
So just before the movie.
A couple of years before the movie.
Yeah. But think about the stars of villains in Mario Brothers. You don't think of King Koopa as leading
Yes,
the way.
I do.
Well, I do for the first game. The second game, he wasn't even in it. And
The
then
third game, I
So,
well, the US,
how is-
US release?
and how is Dennis Hopper freaking playing him with blonde, spiky hair? There's no representation at all. With their
Okay, I'll give
characters.
you this.
At least
He's
they represent
bad,
the look.
but he's not worse as the accent that Luigi tries to put on. Hey, Mario.
All right, so
You
I'm
think
just-
accent's
I'm just
gonna win
count-
over
I'm
King
gonna-
Koopa?
I'm gonna count that as his argument. So what's yours?
They just don't stay true to his character. He's supposed to be this happy character, and he's this angry.
But it's not about staying true to the characters. Who the character is, like, at least the guy who played him looks like him. He does look like Mario.
He didn't wear red suspenders or a fucking hat.
Yeah, he does, but
But
not
body
25
type?
minutes into the movie.
Body type, he definitely looks like Mario.
Body type, sure.
All right, I'm ready for my decision. I'm gonna give it to Tim.
Sweet.
He had the passion, but he also brought the fact that the representation was terrible, which is technically very true. All right, next round, which is the television round.
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go. So, television. What TV adaptation would you like to see made from a video game? So, this is a TV show based on a video game that hasn't been done yet. I'm going to start with Millard.
I picked Dr. Mario.
What?
I can't wait to hear this. I just want to hear it.
I don't even know how you're going
Because
to do this.
he had an original answer.
Oh.
Which
His
was
original answer
awesome.
didn't make sense for the question, though,
What
so he
was
had
it?
to change
The
it.
original answer was awesome, though.
What was it?
Well, he interpreted the question as what
I had it backwards.
what TV guy would you like to see made into a video game?
Oh.
And his answer was
Ron Swanson.
Which
For
I have to give him
Howard
credit. That would be a fucking
But that would actually be a
hilarious video
good
game.
question, too. Why didn't you ask that?
Well, I'm now thinking I might have to put that one aside and do that one another time.
All right.
Anyway, let's hear
So
Dr.
anyway, let's
Mario.
get Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario, I could do this as Mario, as a real doctor in like a Grey's Anatomy or a House kind of scenario. Maybe a more of a House scenario.
Hey,
And just like a plumber, Mario the plumber, fucking making decisions on whether people live or die or what.
so my only question to you really is, would
Yeah.
he get a lot of malpractice suits? Because he's not a real doctor. We all
Oh,
know
he's a
this.
plumber.
Like, he's a fucking plumber, right?
No, because he'd be able to talk his way out of everything.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he doesn't have a license, but he's
So you're just
practicing anyway.
So he's
And-
serving what? Crack whores?
What?
So he's serving what? All the crack people on the street that can't afford doctors?
No,
Oh,
no.
Dr. Mario, the methadone clinic.
Oh, there's derivatives of this show.
That's not bad, actually. I like that. I might actually
Fuck it,
watch
just
that.
help.
I don't know. Move on to Eamon.
Soon to be a Netflix exclusive.
Fucking
Dr.
Dr. Mario. Dr. Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking Mario.
All right, you're done. All right, so anyway, your answer, sir.
My answer was Splatoon
Splatoon, okay.
for the Wii U.
Yep.
So Splatoon is a
So-
third-person shooter
Good, you're gonna explain it because these two guys.
Yeah, because I have no clue what the fuck's
Yeah.
Splatoon
I know what it is.
where
But
you
you know
have
what it is, but he-
ink
kids
guns and you shoot people and you can turn into like a squid and go into your ink and go behind like players and you can use like paint rollers and stuff. And your objective is to cover more turf, which honestly in real life, what do we need when we're trying to fight a war? We need more land. And so what will happen is that it would
Depends on who you talk to. Hitler needed less Jews.
And let's be honest, that kind of worked out for him for a couple of years.
Anyways, it would be the blue squids versus the orange squids. And they would fight and they would try to claim the most turf every episode. It would be kind of like the cartoon part of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, in my opinion. It would be
it be a children's show?
Yes, it would be a children's show. But it would be like cartoony, fun, run and gun action. That's for.
So my question to you is: would it just be called Splatoon, or is it called like Splooge Everywhere? Like what is it called?
Did you
It's called Splatoon.
It's called There's My Ding Ding.
All right, Eamon, thanks. All right, Tim.
All right, I picked The Legend of Zelda.
It's already been made into it.
It's
not
made
a
into
TV show.
It's made into a cartoon short, and the reason why I allowed this because a TV show to me is a normal either
Is a full
30-minute
every
or
week
60-minute
running
format.
Sure.
And the Zelda cartoons were not of that format. They were like 10 minutes at max.
Yeah, I'm looking at the full 60 minutes,
All right.
hour-long shows,
All right.
and looked at The Legend of Zelda being like a scrawny guy version of Hercules or Xena Warrior Princess.
All right, I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
Because think about it. What does Zelda do? He's a guy who runs around, breaks freaking pots, and
would be
helps
Link.
people.
What would it be? Would it just
It
be
would
him
be
breaking
like
pods,
technically,
breaking people's
Yeah.
like stuff? Is this what we're supposed to be teaching our kids?
No, it's not a kid's
Are we
freaking
supposed to be
movie.
teaching our kids to splurge everywhere? Like, come on.
But this is what this movie is about. It would be
Movie?
old school.
And on top of that, after you splurge everywhere, you jump into it.
With a squid.
With a squid.
But this is
Squids
like
only belong in the ocean and at Philadelphia Flyers games. That's it.
hey, but this is like old school style, like back in the Hercules TV show that was on for a while with Kevin
So
Sorbo.
Okay, you're talking about Sorbo, not like the cartoon
Sorbo.
one, right? Because
No,
the
it'd be-
cartoon one,
Hey, Herc! Hey, Herc!
Hey, Herc!
No, it would be the Sorbo kind of version. 'Cause it would be for adults, for kids, for everybody.
All right.
And it would be Link with his sword.
All right.
He'd be running around helping people.
Are we going to
Because-
have another big
'cause at
fucking
least-
sword discussion?
But at least all of the movies that you guys picked, my movie, has enough storyline. Or my TV show has enough storyline to make multiple episodes.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of content to go
How the
there.
hell are either of your shows going to make multiple episodes?
We'll figure
Well,
it
if he
out.
runs a methadone clinic, he said. like,
Or like a house type show. I mean,
Yeah, but
House
that was
has been the
House
same
ran for
show
like
Okay,
9 years.
Right? Like, you cannot run an episode after episode over squids fighting.
Also,
Yeah, you can.
Zelda
you
and
could
Link
have in
can
Dr.
keep
Mario,
fighting and
you
do
could put little
different
Easter eggs
adventures
in, like
and have a
he could
full
be
story.
playing Dr. Mario.
Well, yeah, but
You
so
need
did
enough
this. It
storyline.
would be the blues versus the oranges, and they'd be fighting
guess
each
what?
other and
That would be
trying
bo-
new.
we already heard this.
That would be boring after the first month, if it went that long. But
Yeah,
at least with
sure.
Zelda, you could keep going over and over again. And there's
You do have to
multiple
keep in mind, though,
storylines.
it's a kid's
There's
show
different
he's
cities.
thinking.
Excuse me,
But there's different
princess.
cities.
Shows are boring.
There's different cities to explore, different
He is pitching
enemies
a
to
kid's
fight, different everything else to fight.
All right.
Like, I just don't understand how either of your shows would have multiple episodes. Where my show has a storyline.
I can see his for sure,
That could
especially if
keep
it ran
going.
kind of like the house format.
Yeah, but
Yours, technically being a kid's show, you could put 20 of the exact same fucking episode and it'd be fine. Yours definitely would have enough content to run for a while.
yeah, and that's why I picked
So,
that game
all right.
because
I
that's
don't
the
even
only
remember what you
game.
picked. What did you pick?
Legend
Zelda.
of Zelda.
Oh, Zelda.
Because that's
yeah,
the only game with enough content that I feel that could carry on for years, and you can keep
Well,
going.
that's true. It could. But that doesn't necessarily mean like the show itself could be the main character could be about the video game, but you could have so many like just like Kevin mentioned, you know, like you could have them doing like a methadone clinic. You could have them like doing house calls.
Zelda-
Hey, how long did
And then he
Hercules
has like
last with Kevin Sorbo?
that's true.
That lasted years,
Ages.
and that has less content than The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, the entire episode was like 3 minutes of dialogue.
Every episode was the exact same. Legend of Zelda, you could actually have
All
content.
All right, so tell me why yours is better than these two because right now you're the underdog. So I want to
Yeah?
hear, oh yeah, big time.
Okay. Well, for yours, that just sounds weird.
That's why people will watch it. That's a plus for me.
No, it isn't. If you're gonna
House was a great show and people loved it.
I actually liked House.
House was a good show.
Yeah, I helped you.
Anyways, for yours, everybody's gonna. I just don't think it could be done. I think it would turn out a lot like the 10-minute version did. And plus, yours has technically already been done. It says, what TV adaptation? It's already been adapted. It can't be eligible.
It has not been adapted to TV. It's been adapted to online.
No,
What?
yours was TV.
Yours
but
was-
it-
Yours was TV.
Yours
But,
was a
but the
cartoon
host
short.
allowed it. It was just a cartoon.
I'm talking
short.
like-
It was a cartoon short.
But it was still a
Hour
cartoon.
long.
I allowed
An
it.
hour long.
I allowed
Also,
it.
you got to understand that he doesn't really. You probably didn't know that it had been on
No.
TV before,
I don't
right?
care about a 10-minute episode. Have you ever
But it's
watched?
not a
have
real
you ever
show.
watched a 10-minute show?
Well, I used to watch the
Well,
Mario
Also,
Super
I
show,
think
so I watched all of them.
I
I've
think it's
seen
gonna be
them all.
difficult to adapt. How are you gonna do yours? Like, is it good? If you did like
I already told
hour-long
you how I was
episodes,
gonna do.
if it was hour-long episodes of just Link fighting, like trying to do something, it would get really.
But you're talking
tedious.
about two teams that are just splooging on each other. That's all you're talking about.
And I gotta
And
say,
it's a
Link
kid's show.
Link
It's a
does
kid's
go
show,
on
though.
quests.
It's a
right?
kid's
Like-
show.
Like Link goes and fucking slays shit and fucking finds Triforces.
But the time in between then is gonna be boring.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be there's gonna be very few action for a very lot
Kevin.
of boring.
Tell me why yours is better than his.
I don't know. I picked Dr. Mario as a joke because I was mad I couldn't do what I had originally wanted. And I came up with a whole scenario for this original answer. And then Ashley mentioned Dr. Mario, and I'm like, as a real doctor? That's awesome. So that's why. People
Alright.
would fucking watch it.
All right, Tim. Why is yours better than his?
I picked mine because mine already has shows that have been successful that would be similar. Being like exact example I gave.
Well, yeah, but technically he did too. So that's not really.
Yeah, but his is not really the same thing. His
House-
is like a
House
weird
was a very
doctor.
popular show.
A weird
House-
doctor? How has
Yeah,
that
but
show not been done
House
before?
had a license.
That's every fucking show.
But every friggin' show
But
he's
that
talking about
adds
had
to
a
the
license.
intrigue because imagine how Mario has. To
It's a
constantly
new
run from
twist on
authorities.
an old theme. It's a new twist on an old theme.
Dude, can I ask you one thing? If Bob Hoskins was still alive, would he play Mario?
Is Bob Hoskins dead?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Who's Bob Hoskins?
He's the guy
Yeah, I
who
played Mario.
Oh.
Bob
And the
Hoskins
guy
died?
from Roger Rabbit, the main guy
Oh,
from Roger
sweet.
Rabbit.
I like
When the hell
Roger
did he
Rabbit.
die?
Roger Rabbit was a great movie.
When did he die? I didn't know that.
I don't know, when he
I don't
stopped
know, but I
breathing.
know
Well,
he's dead.
imagine when he stopped breathing. That would
Hey, and how popular was Xena Warrior Princess?
be true.
Same concept as my show.
All right.
My show
With
dominates.
the guy.
I'm gonna make a decision here. I'm gonna give it to Tim.
Oh no!
And it hurts me because I don't like giving any Seymour's credit, but
You gave him 2 points in a row.
he's got 2 points in a row so far.
I'd say he earned them.
I think he earned them.
Because I got a strong.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that good on the music round.
So now we're on to the music round.
And I'm here now.
And now Dave is here. Dave had a very important business meeting.
It was an interview. She was interviewing us about our show.
It's amazing the popularity that we're getting, and yet we still don't have any viewers. Or listeners.
We have some.
We have viewers.
We're growing it slowly. What do you want?
growing it slowly.
Like a nice
Hey,
scotch.
What?
fine
You wanna
scotch.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
show was in a movie.
Yeah, we're gonna be in a movie.
In 40 years, 6 people will sit around and enjoy us.
You know what the great thing about scotch?
And they'll be like,
This, like nobody was listening to Nirvana when they were just playing in the garage, but then they gained a following, right? We're like the Nirvana of
you know what this
podcasts.
podcast needed?
More Dave.
Mader.
Yeah, it
And you know
definitely.
what? Now that Dave Mader showed
More
up,
Dave Mader.
we gave him some scotch. He's going to be a contributor now. All right. Anyway, we're on to music. So, music question is, what video game had the best use of music or best soundtrack? And we're going to go with Eamon. What's
Okay, so
Eamon?
I picked Super Mario.
Hey, I just wanted to clear this up. I'm in fucking charge, all right?
Okay.
There we go.
I picked Super.
I have to do that to him every time we have this podcast. Anyway, it's all good.
I picked Super Mario 64, and the reason I picked it is
Now, the whole
because
soundtrack or a particular song?
no, the entire soundtrack.
All right.
The reason I picked it is because anybody who listens to the Super Mario 64 soundtrack remembers that soundtrack.
I
I've played the game. I have
Song.
no
I
idea.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what that song is. I always played that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Boom! I can tell you that.
So you want to like hum a little of it? Maybe
Yeah,
a
hum the-
little
hum the
jazz it
sound.
up? Look at that, he's got the serious face now.
Let's hear it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know how this is helping you, but
I don't know. It's not.
all right. Anyway, let the man finish.
Okay.
Well, barely man, but
You
man.
you remember that. That always brings you back to the good days of playing Super Mario 64 and listening to those songs.
Before you were born?
Oh!
I'm talking about you
bringing
guys.
it now.
That is
But when I
for his
played
own
this as a kid,
son.
I played this game a while back, and I loved
Dave Mader
One of the best
sleeping
parts-
at the
one-
park tonight.
Why are you even challenging me? You're not playing.
I'm just saying, like you're.
When I was a kid, I played this game too, and I
Try to make some
like
cool
the
music.
music.
Oh, it's gross.
Okay. Fair enough.
And
Try it?
it was all, it just brings you into a feeling. Like there was the overworld theme that I hummed there. There was the Dire Dire Docks theme.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like the Bowser theme, which is still used. It was considered
Yeah, it's still used
down
in pretty
down
much
down
every
down
video game.
down.
Hey, that's
I'm
getting
giving him points
I'm
just
giving
Absolutely.
points.
I'm telling you right now, all you fucks are not gonna hum it. And that kid stood up and he hummed it.
Yeah.
All right.
He gets points for that.
He gets
I
points for
agree.
balls.
Hey, Jody, I would give him points for that.
I'm
And
gonna
playing
do
against
that,
him.
so don't worry about that. Anyway.
So yeah, it brings you back to the good times when you played this as a kid. And that's really all I have to say about it for
I was
now.
an adult when
It brings you right back to the
Mario
90s,
64
right?
came out, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
When you were
Tim,
just a sperm.
where you were just a twinkle in your dad's eye.
But yeah, my brother Rich, he beat that game on
In a day.
On
I don't
we-
think. Hey, I don't think the twinkle was in his dad's eye.
we got it for Christmas. Rich beat it in one day.
Not if they're doing it
And
right.
I had no interest in the game.
Now,
after
did he
that.
beat it 120 stars?
I don't know. Like,
He beat the fucking game. Get over it.
ask him at Christmas. I
All
don't.
right. Anyway, that's your Tim.
Okay, my music answer is the Game Boy version of Tetris.
Oh no, there's a classic.
Because that game had, guess what? 2 songs to the whole fucking game.
And then they had the cold version, which was like.
Yeah. But the Game Boy version was 2 songs. It was a Russian folk song. It was Bach French number 13.
Yep.
And those 2 songs stuck in your fucking head.
Yeah, I still hear.
No matter what, those songs came with you. No matter what you did, you played Game Boy.
Do you get a sense of nostalgia when you play that, though?
When you hear
When
those
I hear
songs,
that song,
when you
right?
hear those songs, you do. Guess what? My wife
You
plays
still
no
hear it in
fucking
my
video
bathroom
games.
in my house.
My wife plays no
As
fucking
Kevin
video
can
games at
attest.
all. But today, I put that song on my phone and started playing it, and she went Tetris. She knew right away.
To be fair, though,
everybody
Tetris
knows
is a
that
game
song.
that anybody can distinguish because it's more of like a puzzle game that people.
Yeah,
know.
but even people that don't play video games play Tetris.
We also got to remember it was one of the highest. It was one of the highest sold games because it was also a pack-in game for every Game Boy.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
with Game Boy.
It came
Yeah.
with the Game Boy.
And
So
it's
every
a song.
kid played that fucking
Then
game.
even if
because
you
it
don't
was the only
care
game we
about
got.
video games, you don't know video games, you know Tetris,
because
you know their music.
Tetris isn't like a real.
But I'm talking about
Like-
like this game came out in the 90s, like early 90s.
So did mine.
And no, but
1990.
1990. But my wife now today,
Actually,
who does
maybe
not
not, sorry.
play any video games, I put that song on today, and she went Tetris. Her head popped up and went
You know what?
Tetris
Because
right
more
away
people
because
that-
that song sticks in your head
All
and
right,
you know it.
You'll have a chance. All right.
It's got the
Relax
2
it
songs, and you always have it.
out. All right. The Millard.
You want to know? My 8-year-old son will know this and know exactly what it's from.
Sure.
Or
That was actually my number 2 choice. That was my number 2 choice.
it's there's like 3 songs in the whole game, and they're awesome. There's the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a super
The lesser known water, but the underground and the there's
castle.
4. There's the castle
There's
too.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Those MIDI
And
files.
there was
yeah.
a water one?
The water level and the level with like the mushroom platforms was the same music from what I remember.
Yeah, it was the same music.
it?
What you were starting to hum was.
But it still doesn't matter. There's still 4
The-
songs. There's still 4 songs. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Which just proves how nostalgic it is.
it is nostalgic.
You're
It's
not
it's
helping
what
yourself.
it's what everybody played. It's memorable, and they had to make those songs on that 8-bit machine. Yeah, I mean, I almost picked like say Skyrim or whatever, where they had more of a like traditional sort of soundtrack. But this is something that everyone knows, even non-gamers, even people who have never played Mario Brothers know it's from Mario Brothers.
true.
It's one of the most famous games.
It's ubiquitous through
Yeah,
all of society,
to be fair,
and
you could
through
say the same
probably
thing about the entire
ubiquitous
Mario
through
Brothers.
all of first world societies, independent of language or anything. Everybody knows Mario. they all know the song.
All right.
They all know the song, and they all know
Exact
the
same thing I
game.
can say for my
They're
game.
the same thing.
All right.
Exact same thing I can say
I'm
for
gonna
my
make
game.
I think Tetris is a little less ubiquitous.
It's not as big known, but the song is carried
But they were
on.
already the Russian one was already song. I had that in my music class on recorder.
Right. It's already a well-known song where they took two songs that should not have been famous and made them famous.
Well, if it was famous, if you were from Russia and you knew that's the folk song.
No, but they made it worldwide.
Also, no matter what instrument you start going, everybody knows it.
Yeah,
Instantly.
regardless of what
Instantly.
instrument you're playing it on, if it's on piano, if it's like on a
Instantly.
recorder, if you're playing it on a fucking harp, you still know it's the Mario music.
And I don't think any game, Tetris has probably been the closest to that since that the music is that linked with the game. Tetris is probably, I'd say, a close second to that.
All right, I'm just gonna decide this one right now because I think this is hands down was taken away, and I'm gonna give it to Kevin.
Yeah, I figured that. I was trying to come up with that argument, but it was hard. I do agree.
The next
I do
one's
agree
gonna
Kevin's
be
got
way
that
harder
one.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Which gets us to the most beloved of all of our questions, and Dave, you are already smashed. I can tell. He's like, Scotch likes me, and I like Scotch.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have Scotch here.
Yeah,
It's
Dave didn't
because,
forget. He's okay.
it's because every
He's all
time he
right.
drinks scotch, it's like the first time they've ever met.
He's like, hello, Scotch.
Hi, Scotch.
It's
I've
no-
never had
I've
you
had your
before.
whiskey brother, and he was okay. But my, are you tasty?
It's no Rev, right, Tim?
No, it's no Rev.
All right, sports. What is the most enjoyable sports-based video game? And I was really surprised by the answers. That's all I have to say. So I'm going to go with Tim. So Tim, tell me what you picked.
I know Jody won't agree with this answer because he is not a baseball fan. But I'm going with MLB
I'm
The
unbiased
Show.
when I'm in a hosting.
I'm going with MLB The Show.
Which, by the way, I have played.
I love that freaking
I used to
game.
play it when I worked for Sony.
Because that
it was on the
game,
demo.
Do I have to pick like a specific? game?
Like
You haven't picked
I
it
only
yet?
just picked a sport.
No, you can't do that. You gotta pick a game.
That's okay. He'll just.
I picked MLB The Show.
Fucking any of them are better than baseball anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No.
There you go.
That
He hasn't even started yet, and he's already got points against you.
game, that game beats out other games because you know what? Obviously, hockey is more fast-paced, interactive, fun. But
So, just to be clear,
I win.
No.
Hey, clear. Not only did you tell us
me
what it
fucking
was,
finish,
but you
asshole.
also said right after that,
It's more
not
fun
only
here.
is all your games better than mine, but let me tell you why mine's
In
better.
every way measurable.
But this game, you look at every sports game made. MLB The Show, as soon as your player comes up the bat, your pitcher goes up the pitch, every single movement they make is the same as the actual player in the actual game.
So you're going by realism then?
Yes,
That's what
realism.
You're saying
this
it's very
game
realistic.
has every realism to it.
Which
in
I
hockey,
will say it did look very real.
in hockey, the only realism I could find, if I was playing like Ryan Smith, I could tell it was him on the ice, not by his number because his socks were hiked up. It did that. But MLB The Show,
That's
based
kind of
on
impressive, I think. But
no, but MLB The Show has the same leg kick, has the same stance, has the same swing, has the same everything to the player.
all right, so your entire
Argument
Argument
is
is
this
realism.
game has 100% realism.
so for the baseball fan, it is the pinnacle of
Yes, every stadium you look at, you pick any stadium to play in, every inch of that stadium is covered. And that's not done in any other game,
Fair enough.
I disagree.
which
with
is
you
why I
on
take
that.
that. No, hockey
The
shows
new NHL games all
new
have-
NHL games show points of stadiums, but not every inch. Where the new baseball games show every inch and every part of it.
Do you know why they
They
have
show
to
the
do that?
waterfall.
Because baseball is so fucking boring. Just like the show, just like watching it on TV, they have to fucking fill every minute and every inch with fucking stats and nuance because the game is boring.
Not if you know
Without
the
that,
game.
people would commit fucking suicide.
You
All
don't
right,
know
watching
the
it.
We're
game.
talking about the video games here.
Yes, and that
regardless,
this game.
I
But the
enjoy
level
this
of
game shows
detail
more
in the
to
video
it.
game is just a hallmark of how fucking boring it is.
No, this.
But I
video
enjoy
game,
playing.
every single
I
player.
enjoy
Like,
playing football video games, but I can't stand watching it on TV.
I guarantee every fucking Next year, when MLB The Show comes out, I guarantee next year they're gonna have Batista's bat flip.
Woo!
That's what they do. They show fucking details. No other sport shows the same details.
All right, Kevin.
All right, you guys are gonna have to help me out here. I thought we were just picking a sport, so I picked hockey. What's the latest NHL like?
Well, there's a lot of different hockey
NHL
video
16.
games.
There's only two main ones though.
There's EA, and then there's like
There's EA, and then there's the Sega one.
2K. Is that what it's called?
16's much
That's
better,
EA.
though.
And nobody plays.
That's
that
the one I'm
anymore.
picking. 16, I guess.
NHL 16.
Like
is
the
where-
But I'm just gonna talk in. It doesn't matter. I'm talking in generalities with hockey games here anyway. The reason that
So you don't even
fucking
know the game
right
you're talking
from
about.
right from Blades of Steel or Ice
Ah,
Hockey
Blades of
for
Steel, that was a
fucking
fun game.
right from that.
You'd be better off
hockey
picking Blades
is
of Steel.
So much. The hockey is such a better sport to put into a video game because
So now you're picking the sport, not the game.
The game has become generic since the 2012.
Kevin, have
You're
more
now
shot.
picking the
It doesn't
sport
change
instead of the
since
game.
2012. Those games have not
I'm
changed
saying
since
the
2012.
reason the reasons I'm saying are ubiquitous across all fucking hockey games. So it doesn't the hockey game itself doesn't matter. It's still better than any fucking baseball game you will play cuz baseball games are fucking boring. They're boring. It doesn't matter what you fucking do. You hit the ball or you don't hit the ball and then you wait. It's the fucking waiting game. It's not the baseball game. It's the fucking waiting game. So fuck off and let me
But in
my fucking example.
In baseball, you can usually like hit the button and skip all that boring stuff and go right to the next play. Except I think in your game, which I think is hyper realistic.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You still can.
You still can?
Yeah.
They didn't build that waiting.
You
in?
can
No,
skip
you
all
still
that
can skip all
fucking
that,
stuff that you were saying was the best part of the fucking
No. The best part of the game is the part where when you swing the bat, when you hold the bat, when you fucking throw the pitch, it's the exact same as that player
cares?
in real life.
Who gives a flying fuck?
Because it's realistic.
Do not care.
Hockey makes a better fucking video game. It doesn't even matter which video game it is. It makes a better video game.
There are
because
some bad ones.
It's fast paced, and the play barely ever fucking stops. And it doesn't
Baseball
matter.
barely
You
stops
could have
if
fucking
you play the game.
Alright.
fucking it could be sort of like this, like a soccer game or
know
whatever,
what's
but
done
there's
on this.
one
He doesn't like
difference.
baseball, but
Hockey
that's my favorite
players fucking glide on the ice. It's what makes hockey more interesting as a sport, and it's what makes hockey games more interesting to play.
Fair enough. Eamon.
Okay, so I picked NBA 2K12, and
What in the fuck sport is that?
that is the NBA.
Basketball. And
Okay,
basketball.
NBA. I thought he said MK something.
Oh.
I heard him. NBA.
All right.
Why that?
Basketball.
And the reason
Why
I picked that-
basketball?
Why is that even the best basketball game?
Every basketball game I've ever played is as boring as a fucking baseball game.
Anyways, basketball, with it, you get, like, there's the thing, this game kind of brought, like, a catchphrase to boom shakalaka when you slam dunk it into the net.
Okay, so just to be clear,
Into the...
that never happened.
Yeah.
Okay? So the first game that actually I ended up doing the Boom Shakalaka was actually
Our
NBA
personal
Jam,
bullshit.
which was an arcade game
don't
that
know
was
who
back
this.
in
95?
93-ish.
Okay.
Was that like the 2-on-2 game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's 2
He's on fire!
Yeah.
Boom
I love
Shakalaka.
that one. The two-person
That's such a
shooter.
fun game.
This one's 2-player too, but it's also got like...
No, like it's
No,
only
it's
two
2
guys.
on 2.
There's only
It
two
was 2-on-2 games.
guys on the team.
Yeah, so is this one.
You can get NBA Jam for the new consoles too.
Yeah.
Still around.
Anyways,
Anyway, go ahead.
so the game doesn't try to be realistic like yours does. This game tries to go out of its way to be as macho as possible.
Macho?
Yes, it tries to, well, maybe not macho.
I don't know if basketball could be called macho.
It tries to go
Basketball is probably one of the
It's about as
pussiest
much
sports
as
you can
saying
have.
like, baseball
It's
is
different.
exciting.
It's different than
Exactly. Hyper realistic. In reality, baseball is boring. Boom. Game sucks.
But basketball tries to take you away from a sense of realism. I believe this is the one where you could become the U.S. presidents.
Basketball
That's
is
NBA
how
Jam.
you go
That's
off
NBA
if
Jam.
you
Are you
have
sure,
a
are you
hangnail.
sure you don't want to pick NBA Jam?
I think you're talking about NBA Jam.
But
Okay, then I'm gonna.
Change it. Go
Fine,
for it.
Go for NBA Jam.
Alright.
In basketball, if you have a hangnail, you go off hurt.
Not in the games though.
Don't. Okay.
There's no fouls in the video games and stuff.
Well, there's
not in Jam, right?
No, Jam
Anyways,
here.
so
In baseball, you
have to
never
prove
exert
stuff a
yourself
lot.
enough
And,
to
like,
fucking get a hangnail.
And one of the best parts about that was the announcers, because they give you a sense of comedy in a sport that you might not describe as being so comedy-ish. It doesn't try to be the game it is. It tries to be a cool, interesting, fun thing that takes you out of the sense of realism because it doesn't need to be realistic to be fun, like your game.
Okay, so 30 seconds. Tell me why yours is better than these two.
Because my game is fun and realistic. I love that fucking
How's
game.
it fun?
I have spent hours playing that fucking game, doing entire seasons, everything. Because it's
but,
fun.
Yeah, but retards will stand in the corner and watch paint dry. So like,
But it's fun when you know the players and you're playing the game and you're actually seeing the real life aspects
so it's all
in
about
the
the
game.
experience.
I think
Yes.
if you're
it's the experience that you're actually watching
Alright.
the real life full aspect in the game. What you're actually doing, you're controlling real life aspects in the players.
like I think if you're really a
And
huge
every single player in the
Well,
game.
how can you control it
shows
if it
that.
does what they do? You're not controlling.
But when you swing the bat on them,
Well,
you're
they have to swing
seeing
and stuff.
their
He's
type
talking
of
about, like,
swing.
the animation.
When you see the pitch, you're seeing whether they have a high kick, low
Yeah.
kick, how they
If you're a
kick.
true fan of
you're seeing
baseball-
everything. And if you're a true,
If you have to be-
right,
if you're a
Dave.
true fan of baseball and you really follow
You know,
these players,
how do you even know that that's the truth? They could just fucking tell you that.
Because
and you
I
wouldn't fucking
watch
know.
baseball, I love baseball, I know everything
Alright,
there is
so-
about baseball.
if you know-
I know it is.
All right, Kevin, tell me 30 seconds. What makes yours better than these two?
Baseball's fucking boring.
All right.
Hockey games are fun. I don't even know what you picked, honestly.
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam.
Fucking some basketball game. I don't know. Fucking.
Because
I've never played a basketball game
That
I
sums that
enjoy.
up. All right, 30 seconds. What's better about yours
yours
than these
is
two?
overreal. Yours is too realistic to be fun. Yours is out. Yours is, anyways, and yours. You picked that the gliding is good.
Yeah, gliding is awesome. It's way better than running. It fucking makes the game more
No,
exciting.
this
You
game
can
was awesome
overshoot,
because of
you
the
can go
announcers.
around.
They give
Who
you
gives
like
a shit about the announcers in a game you're playing? You want announcers
doing
in a game you're
NBA
watching?
Hey,
NBA Jam started this.
hey, man, my announcers in my game
Oh my
are the
god.
same
I
announcers.
don't care!
life.
Announcers.
Okay.
Same
let me
announcers as
speak.
in real life.
Let me speak.
Announcers.
Anyway,
Same announcers in
let
real
him
life
speak,
as
let
in
him
my game.
Let him speak. He hasn't had it.
I have mine has a flow of awesomeness. It has this chic feeling that you feel in your when you're playing it. You feel like yes, I want to get this junk. I want to get it.
I don't know what that feeling is, but
I bet you should play basketball when I get that.
I know that feeling.
All right. I'm giving it to him.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm giving it to him is because
The other two didn't put
Yeah,
up much
too
of a
much
fight.
passion.
it was.
Too much passion.
Didn't
had
put
a lot
up
of
much of a
passion.
fight.
Yeah,
I
you
called
give him the
everybody
passion.
an idiot.
I didn't even mention the fact that you could play Santa Claus.
Well, that would have definitely.
That would have put it right over the rim for me. But anyway. All right, history, and this is probably going to be, in my opinion, one of the best questions. And honestly, I know all three of your answers, and this is going to be a fun one. What is the worst business decision made by a video game company in history? Kevin.
Atari not giving enough time to build a proper ET game. The reason ET sucked so bad and is credited with destroying the
They
video
made
game
the ET
industry.
game?
Which
It's
I also
because-
just want to just to be clear, Chris loves the AT. Chris loves the ET game.
Game, yeah, he
I
talks
don't
about it all
know
the
why.
time. He won't shut up about it.
It's
It's horrific.
terrible.
It's
I
not
had
the
it,
worst
and I
ever.
remember crying.
I still
It was
don't
so
think it's.
frustrating.
I don't think it's the worst ever, but it's horrific.
It's not the worst ever, but
I think he
Um,
just likes the movie, and he just
maybe
wants-
he just likes
The
to
movie's
stay.
brutal too. I don't know why
Like the
people
best
like
thing
that
about the
piece of
ET
shit.
cartridge was the label on it because it was pretty close to the movie.
But that game could
Oh, I
have been
got this
good.
one.
It could have been good. It had the guy that made it was an excellent fucking developer.
Yeah,
he
he
had
was.
made other games that
Yeah, he made
sold
Adventure.
well. Yes.
Made adventure.
But they said, you know what? We need this out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So can you get started on that?
Yeah,
That's
just
why
go
it
ahead.
sucks, and that's the word. And that is credited with destroying the video game industry in 1984. And that's why it's the worst business decision ever. It didn't just destroy their company; it destroyed the whole fucking industry.
Short and sweet. I like it. All right.
Okay.
You're not counter-offering. Just go with yours now.
What do you got?
Mine was the decision that when the NES came to America, that Atari did not help with them.
Why not?
Because I believe it had something to do with Donkey Kong being on the Atari, and they didn't want that there because it wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
But it was
copyright.
well,
issues.
but Atari also said no, and that's the reason the company went bankrupt, because it didn't join with Nintendo to become something powerful. And if you ask me this is what broke down the company, not E.T. Well, E.T. set it back, but after that, they had the chance to say the NES, so they're like, no. Was that when they were making the 5200?
No, the 5200 came out after.
So they were like, oh no, we're just gonna make this stupid console that's named after a cat. The Jaguar.
The Jaguar?
Yeah.
That was well after.
Oh.
And a Jaguar
Okay.
All right.
is a little more than a cat.
That was a 64-bit platform, and that came out after N64. Actually, no, technically.
So, but like, I just understand this. So basically, Nintendo came to Atari and said, "Hey, let's work together." And Atari said, "No."
Atari was supposed to be the distribution for Nintendo.
Okay.
What they said.
But the only
Atari
reason
said no because of a whole slew
no,
of things.
the
It had
only
to do
reason
with,
the only
CBS.
reason Atari said no was at the time there was a big copyright issue over Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And
Donkey Kong
by the
was a Nintendo
time
property.
Donkey Kong's also a
they
piece
got
of
that all
shit
worked
game.
out,
I don't know why people
it was
love
too late.
Okay.
I like it.
I hate
So Atari didn't say no.
Don't say that to Candace because
Atari didn't say no.
I am
Atari
going
didn't
to
say
make
no.
sure I
Atari
say
was
that
waiting for the
Candace now.
copyright issues to get worked out,
Finalized, yeah.
and by the time they got worked out, it was too late.
So, okay. So was that
So
a bad,
Atari didn't actually say
Nintendo
no.
ended up doing its own distribution.
So was it Atari's fault then?
No.
There's nothing they could have done.
No.
no.
So I think the worst business decision made was when Nintendo was working with Sony.
So you're basically repeating what I'm saying.
No, this is.
I'm talking years later when Nintendo.
I know, but it was with Nintendo
No,
and Sony
years
instead of Atari
later.
and Nintendo.
No, it has nothing to do with Atari. This was
Exactly. I'm saying you're
I'm talking
repeating
10 years
my
later.
question.
I'm talking 10 years
But
later.
with Sony instead of Atari.
No, it's a completely different
Yeah.
circumstance. But anyway.
Where Sony was working with Atari or Nintendo on the new PlayStation, trying to make a deal, and Nintendo dropped Sony and thought they were going to go with Philips.
Which turned out being horrible for them.
They went to Philips,
So
and
made the
Sony,
CDI game.
Basically what happened-
Sony people, their head office people got pissed off and went, "Screw you," and they did their own thing and came out with the PlayStation.
Yeah. So basically, what the history is, just a
What
quick
happened?
Summary.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So the quick summary is,
Nintendo was going with Nintendo was
it actually
talking
starts before that.
with Sony about making
So
the new
your
PlayStation.
assertion is that Nintendo should have gone with Sony, and the best decision
Yeah,
was to
because
not.
Nintendo dropped Sony and went with Philips, and Sony went, "Screw you, we're doing our own
Yeah, but
system."
Nintendo is still a very profitable company, even
Not
after
compared to
so
Sony.
Here, let me
Where
quickly
they could have
explain
been,
this,
because
I can
Sony,
explain
Sony
this
is almost fucking bankrupt. What the fuck are you
Sony
talking
built the
about?
PlayStation.
Yes, and they're still almost bankrupt.
But for a
That's
long
not
time,
technically
for a
true,
long
but
time,
anyway.
PlayStation was like
All right. So
number
here,
one.
let me quickly
Gaming
summarize this
community,
for everybody who
gaming
doesn't know what
community,
this is. All right.
PlayStation owns it.
Hey. Shh.
No.
All right. So what ended up happening is when the Super Nintendo was
Xbox
being
owns
made,
it right now,
the
I
Super
swear to
Nintendo
God.
needed an audio chip. The audio chip was commissioned by the Nintendo people to Sony rep. The Sony rep didn't actually have approval by the Sony Corporation to do this. Ended up, they make that chip. It ended up being very successful. They decided they were going to make a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo CD add-on was originally commissioned by Sony. Sony came up with a prototype. It was announced at E3, all that. So what ended up happening was, as part of this deal, Sony was supposed to have the rights to Nintendo property, which means that they can make games with Nintendo characters, essentially. In contrast, they were going to give a CD add-on, which was going to get rid of the cartridge-based system, which was a terrible idea, right? But it was a good idea for them because, obviously, CD media much cheaper to make, holds way more, right? What ended up happening is, on the day after it was announced, Nintendo backtracked on the Sony deal and said, I'm going to go with Philips instead. Not only did they give Philips the rights to use their property, they ended up canceling the project altogether and made the N64. The problem is that not only did Philips get the rights to that, they also made a bunch of terrible, fucking terrible Zelda games. terrible.
I can do the
Zelda
suck
game.
walk.
Oh yeah, it was fucking terrible.
Like we're not in Ocarina of Time, right?
No, we're not talking anything close to that. These were specifically for a device called the CDI, which was made by Philips, which was their console. Now, to get to what
I'm
Tim's
saying
is
what Sony did in response.
Sony basically went back to their board and said, Nintendo says, fuck you, we're not doing this anymore, we're going to partner with Philips. Sony then said, well, we've already developed this entire
We
thing
said,
that's
fuck you,
essentially
we're
a
doing our
console.
own.
We're going to just develop a console and make it. So they ended up creating the PlayStation 1, which completely killed Nintendo during that time period.
Yeah, it took
They were-
huge market share.
Here's the
Massive.
thing.
Right
Here's
over
the thing.
everything.
Nintendo survived.
Nintendo did
Atari
survive.
did not.
Atari
Okay.
did not survive at all. Now,
But
the
they
one thing
survived,
to reiterate
but
what
Nintendo
you said,
destroyed.
Nintendo
Sony-
is not destroyed. Nintendo
Okay.
fucking
As
look,
a person who
PlayStation
works-
and fucking PlayStation and fucking the Xbox. They come out, they sell like fucking crazy. Everybody wants them.
Yeah.
A year later, everybody decides, you know what? Nintendo's better. I want a fucking Wii, or I want a fucking Wii U.
I don't know. I still use my PlayStation, but
I still
Me
use
too.
my PlayStation too, but we use.
But to
the Wii
reiterate
U
on
a
the
lot
point that you
more
said about
often.
how Sony's almost bankrupt, Sony actually has two different divisions. I worked for Sony, so I know this.
Right.
Okay. Sony has a division which is called Computer Entertainment, which is their
Right.
PlayStation division. Then they have Sony Corporation, which is essentially Sony Canada, Sony US, Sony Japan, which is all consumer electronics. The consumer
movies
electronic
and
side
stuff.
is fucking dying. It's,
Yeah.
it's they're having a very hard time. The PlayStation side actually still cuts a gain. That's actually the only thing that's probably keeping them alive, right?
Right.
Sadly.
Right,
And
but they
PlayStation
are
4
they're
actually
right
has
now.
much
Good
larger.
answer.
And I'll tell you right now.
But they're not
fucking-
Nintendo.
Fucking Xbox is killing them, and if they're not killing them right now, they're gonna kill them in the future because every fucking kid I fucking see, every kid I know wants a goddamned Xbox.
Because they think Xbox
Xbox.
360. Because they know Xbox 360. But Xbox One was such a disappointment.
But PlayStation
So was a
much
PlayStation
better.
4. Trust me, I own a
He owns a
PlayStation
PlayStation
4.
4.
I was really excited
I
for a
don't, yeah.
PlayStation 4 because I had a PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 3 was fucking awesome.
Amazing.
Besides from that price.
But the PlayStation 4, giant fucking disappointment.
Well, it's not
Giant
like
disappointment.
But the biggest
It's
thing
it's
PlayStation
still good
still
for
has,
games.
that
It's
no one
still
else
good
has
for
is
games, but
Blu-ray.
it doesn't do any of that other shit that the PlayStation
Can you
3
play
did.
Blu-ray?
But Blu-ray is
Blu-rays will
Blu-rays
play.
on still?
Blu-rays will play, but CDs won't. And fucking
You
we
can't
used
play
to
a normal
do
audio CD on it?
no.
Really?
And we used to do a
PlayStation
we used
does
to do
everything.
XMBC, right? We used to do a home
PlayStation
network.
still
Can't
does
do it on the
everything.
PlayStation 4
Really? That's weird.
doesn't.
All right,
have it.
anyway. You got anything else to say on that?
No, I just have to say how PlayStation is fucking amazing and it destroyed what fucking Nintendo wanted to do.
It really threatened them hard. And
Yeah.
It was something
And
that...
it
Nintendo
put them
survived
into
with
Nintendo
innovation.
survived.
With innovation.
With luck.
Innovation.
Yeah, a lot of luck.
True that.
I don't know so much
Nostalgia,
as innovation as it was.
character.
You know what? I think the
I
only
think it was
reason,
quality titles. That
the
really
only
bought them.
reason, November,
I bought a Wii U for certain games.
but the
I
only
didn't buy the Wii
reason
U for the hardware.
that was the
We
biggest
bought a Wii U for the
mistake.
hardware.
Wait, let me
We
finish.
thought it was cool.
Let me finish. That was the only mistake Nintendo made because the only
No,
reason
they
they
made a lot of
the
them.
only reason they
Tons
survived
the Rob.
was
I almost picked that.
because of their names.
Gyromite.
The GameCube. Are we forgetting about that?
GameCube was great.
I hate it.
No, it was
I
He
still play my GameCube.
no. The only reason they survived was because of the names they still had under copyright.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But business decision wise,
No,
it
they-
was the
they
worst
fucked up a lot.
business decision wise
That was
they
one of the
ever
worst.
made, and they only survived because
I
of
don't
their
know if it's
actual
the worst
names.
business decision
Two
that they ever
words.
made.
Two words that I can
If-
help you on that. Virtual Boy.
Do you know what? You know what? It isn't the worst. It isn't the worst fucking business decision they ever made because you know what? If they had done a project with Sony and they had merged with Sony, they would no longer exist. It would just be Sony.
But they also
yeah.
own.
Sony would
It
just-
would be
But-
their company
but-
would no
hey,
longer exist.
Kevin,
Nintendo
but-
wouldn't need the Wii U wouldn't exist.
All right.
None
But
of that
all
would
of the
have
corporate
existed.
people would also own a lot more fucking money,
We're getting a bit off track here.
Wonderful.
All right, so let me.
which is what it's all about. Business questions are about fucking money.
All right.
I'm out, right?
Yeah,
Right?
You're
It's
very
all
much-
about money.
Necessarily.
I didn't think.
Next
of that
time,
one.
show up with some facts.
You
All
ask
right.
a business question, you ask about money.
Why is the ET thing a bigger issue than what he's talking about?
Because Nintendo still exists and Atari fucking doesn't.
Well, they technically
Atari
still exist.
It wasn't
Atari
because of that, though.
fucking
was
that
for
was the
multiple
beginning of the
reasons.
end, and that was the beginning of a culture at Atari.
You gotta
I was
remember
thinking
where
that's what
they
ended
didn't-
it, though.
But that was also the start of what was referred to as shovelware, which was every fucking
Just get it out the
shitty
fucking
game you
door.
could find.
Yes.
I remember going down to like when I had an Atari. I remember my mom taking me down to like, well, it was Towers at the time, but it was Zeller's now, and now Zeller's is dead too. But I remember going down there, and you could go down there, and for $5 you could buy an Atari game.
E.T.
And this was like an '84.
E.T.
right?
at the time was the biggest
Because there's so much
fucking
shit.
the biggest fucking movie ever at the
huge.
time.
It was huge.
It was fucking huge. It was like Star Wars big
Yeah.
at the time. And they made this piece of shit video game out of it. This could have been their moment to fucking shine. It could have been their moment to fucking just take over fucking everything. Instead, they decided to fucking take a big steaming
It was
dump
the
on
money.
it.
That's all it was.
They
wanted
decided
money.
to fucking...
And they got a ton of money, and then eventually it got wind that everybody said that the fucking
But it
game was
had
terrible.
to be out for Christmas, so every fucking... See, it's not always about the money. They had
No,
to
it is
fucking...
about the money.
No,
They
that one
had
was
to
about
get
the
it
money.
out before...
It is about the
they
fucking
had to
money.
get it out before
That's why
Christmas,
they had to
so
get it out
everybody
before
would
Christmas.
fucking
It is
buy
about
it.
the fucking
But
money.
then nobody would trust them after, nobody would buy fucking games from them after, and they fucking died. Because
I don't think that's what caused it.
All right.
It
Why
is
is
about the
yours
money.
worse than his?
Because think about what you said. It's about the money. Right now,
His definitely was about the money.
Sony wanted to merge with Nintendo to make the PlayStation,
It was
That
just
would
a
have
joint
been-
venture. It wasn't a merge.
but it would same
It was a
sort of
joint
thing.
venture. Yeah.
Well, the same sort of thing. Joint venture to make the Nintendo 64. Nintendo said no. Sony made it on their own and made their own wing in their own company
Sony created their own.
and
like,
created their own entity,
Well, they created their own division.
Nintendo basically
their own vision,
created.
and they became Sony PlayStation.
they created an enemy, and
So
they,
they
Why is that
created
bad?
why?
Has,
money.
Has Nintendo lost money? No. They've made a
Oh,
profit
they've lost
still.
money.
Oh, but
They make a profit.
Sony has gained a shitload of money off of it.
Well,
You
they lost
look
a
at
lot
the
of money
money
at the beginning of the
that
PS4.
Sony has gained off the PlayStation.
But you know what?
It destroys
I
what
honestly don't
Nintendo
think that
makes.
if Nintendo was
In the
involved,
same-
that they would make as much money because you'd have more fucking bureaucracy, more bullshit. There's no way they would make the same amount
All
of
right.
money having.
I'm
that
gonna
much.
call it. I'm gonna give it to Kevin.
I can't believe I lost that one.
Yeah, me neither.
And you know what the funny thing is? Out of both of those things, I have more passion for that story, but he came up with better points for his. That's the only reason why. I actually like yours better than his, but I can't show that bias. I have to go
No.
with what the argument was, right?
Well, I know. You?
All right, wild card. In your opinion, what is the best video game that is still fun to play today? So this could be at any point in time during video games, but a game that I can play today that I could play X
That you
amount of
can
years
enjoy
ago, and I can still enjoy it. Eamon,
Okay, so I picked Super Mario Bros. 3.
very solid.
You've already picked. You've already picked
Solid
that today.
Solid pick. All right,
This is the
let's-
second time you picked that today.
No, it isn't.
Solid.
You picked it from music as
you
well.
picked 64.
I
that
picked
was
64 for
64.
Tuesday.
I picked the 64. Anyway, solid pick. I
Yeah.
agree. Let's hear it.
So,
That's
Super
a
Mario
hard-
Bros.
hard
3
to argue
is
against that.
a classic. Many compare it to the original, and I'll say it's better. And I guess I'm with them because,
Be sure of yourself.
yeah, it adds.
You got to bring it.
You had to. You weren't just saving the princess. You were saving You weren't just saving the princess. You were saving like all these guys in the castles at the end of each
You're saving
world.
all the kings for
Yeah.
all the kingdoms. Yeah,
Because they were turned into animals. And this,
They were.
they were.
and this has a lot of unique. It has a lot of innovation. It has some of the most unique power-ups, in my opinion, that never returned. One I really like is the Hammer Bros suit. I'm sad that never returned because
It
that
did.
was it did.
Yeah,
When?
it was in the Wii version.
I finished
No,
that
it wasn't.
game.
Yeah, it was.
Was it in
there?
Was it in the Mario Kart
Part of
game?
Blue Shell.
Yeah, you're competing with the wrong person.
Oh,
as
actually,
the
no.
host.
Hold on.
No,
Oh,
that
you're
was
right.
I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah,
it in that game.
It was
That-
like ice or something. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And one that didn't appear until very recently again, the Tanuki suit or raccoon tail.
It's not the same as it was in 3, though.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome in 3.
Yeah, because you were invincible.
Fly?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It had this innovation of being, you could be
And
invincible.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but am I the only one here that thinks that the cape in Super Mario World was bullshit?
Why is it bullshit?
Yeah, because you have to like,
Because it was like having the raccoon tail, but not as cool.
yeah.
It was like
You could do like the
but the
groundhog
only thing you
thing.
could do was
Raccoons-
you could hover. Like,
Yeah.
And you could ground pound.
The raccoon thing was an even more powerful thing. So the cape was more of a standard thing.
Right. And it's harder to control.
No, because
than
the
it is
cape was the second power up in the generation.
I know, it's only the
So
second. So it's...
But it was the second, just like the raccoon tail.
Raccoon was like a third level. Like, you never got
And
it.
you also had the
super-
How often did you get the
mushroom.
raccoon suit? It was very hard
It
to
was a
get.
raccoon suit. and
No, the
everything.
raccoon suit was
I know, but
it was the Tanuki. It was the people.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go on record officially for all of our 3 listeners, and I'm going to say that the cape in Super Mario World was bullshit.
Okay.
All right? It was still okay, but it was bullshit.
It was
I
good.
second that.
Thank you, sir.
I oppose.
Pose.
Of course you do.
First
I'm
year.
just
And then all these.
All right, anyway.
I also
You're
like what
always
they did with
wrong.
World 8. I like what they did with World 8.
You.
There was like these run rows. You're like, wait, there's no levels.
Okay,
Then,
no. World 8 is the bullshit world of Super Mario 3.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. It was terrible. Because if you
What was
died...
World 8?
World 8 was the one with all the airships and the fucking...
Tanks.
It was basically just nothing but airship levels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you might have gotten.
And then you had the
was
second
tough.
part of it where it had the hands that would grab you and then you'd have to play a level.
I didn't like the airship place because it was very, like, it was only, like...
Sucked.
It
was only like cannonballs
to
and
Zelda.
stuff.
The hands that
Sure,
grab you.
grab
That's
a
a
game.
throwback.
It was
Go
a
Wall
throwback.
Master?
Throwback, yeah.
Yeah.
Crappy game.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great
Anyway.
game. Oh, it was
Alright, anyway.
one of the most
sum it
epic
up.
games ever.
It had a great game, lots of innovation, and all around is a standard classic that is compared to the original today.
I'm having such flashbacks thinking of that game. It's such like an iconic
I have it on my
game.
Wii U for
Excellent
like...
game.
Excellent game.
I have that game on pretty much every iteration of it. So I can like play it in my
Like, there's
can
so many
and all.
characters. There's so much to read into that game.
There's not that much.
There's all the Koopa kids.
There's no reading
Yeah, the
into
Koopa
it.
Kids. That was the first.
What reading
game
into
Which
it
is a
is
whole
there?
debate in itself, and we should probably do a game podcast one day because...
You just do this
I
shit.
have a lot
What
of
reading
information.
into it is there?
But the
Okay.
Koopa Kids were the Koopa Kids in Super Mario 3, but in Mario World they weren't the Koopa Kids, which is weird.
They weren't?
No.
But in 3, they're actually kids.
Supposedly.
And they're running like certain sections as you go
Supposedly,
through.
and then in Super Mario World they're just like...
Remember
just Koopas.
Ludwig von Koopa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all named after rockstars.
Yeah.
They're all named after musicians.
Randy
So
Koopa.
they're a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
And in Super Mario World, the level where you had like the spinning thing with all the little triceratops on it,
Oh,
that's
that.
called Reznor.
Yeah,
Because that
Reznor.
was supposed to be Trent Reznor.
Oh.
That was like his little thing because they didn't name any of the Koopa Kids after him. Anyway,
Okay, the game I picked Lemmings.
Oh, Lemmings. I've heard of this game.
Lemmings is one of the oldest fucking games any of you can imagine.
It's an SNES game, isn't it?
And you know what?
What
I
is
was
this
that way
game?
before that?
What?
I said it was.
Yeah,
way
Lemmings.
before
Oh,
that.
yeah.
was way before that. It's a PC game.
Lemmings,
before
you're
it
going
was-
back
The
to the
Lemming
80s.
PC game. shipped
Lemmings
with
was
every
actually
Sound
first
Blaster
created
card.
in 1991.
Yes, Sound Blaster 16.
1991.
after the
No,
SNES.
not for the console.
Oh.
It was originally created in 1991
Yeah.
for the computer.
It was a computer.
It was on
I think of it as a
And
computer.
it was little fucking guys that you had to line up, and you would have parachutes, you would have pitchforks, you would have
That sounds boring
ladders,
as
you would have
fuck.
It
everything.
sounds
you
like
do.
Worms. If Worms was one player.
It
Worms
is actually
is-
similar to Worms, but not quite the same.
Not really.
No,
I
it's
disagree
similar,
on that one,
but
but-
not the same. This is what built games like Worms.
So compared to like Super Mario 3, which let's all be honest, it was a very good pick.
Very amazing game,
Yeah.
but Lemmings is a game that not just kids can play, everyone can play. It makes you
Yeah,
think.
so can Super
It
Mario
involves
Bros.
strategy.
3.
No, not everyone can play
It
that.
involves full
Dave can't
strategy.
play that.
Do you think your grandfather could play Super Mario 3? No, but he
No.
could play
He can
Lemmings.
play Lemmings.
Candace's mom plays.
He
Yeah.
could play
I
Lemmings.
guess because it's a bit more of a casual game, yeah.
He doesn't understand how to work it. He wouldn't even
Lemmings
try.
is all about strategy,
doesn't know how.
thinking.
You're trying to get all the
Learning.
lemmings to the door, and to do that, you had to give them.
You had
certain
to
tasks.
think.
Like one lemming could.
How
climb a
do I
wall,
get-
and another lemming could build a.
How do I
bridge.
get
Yeah.
all these lemmings
So
to their
Pikmin.
home?
Lemmings is like on level with
It's
Pong.
building
It's like
and
kind
it's
of like
learning
a
and
basic game.
Every single person in the world can play Lemmings.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
They
that.
can.
My mother couldn't figure out lemmings.
Could a baby could a baby play Lemmings?
I could teach
Could
my
I don't
daughter
think
to
A
play
baby
Lemmings,
could
yes.
play any of our games.
No.
I haven't even
So he
I
said
haven't
it
even
was
said what my
perfect.
game is yet.
And on that note,
Okay.
let's hear Millard.
All right, you know, solid pick for Mario 3. Lemmings,
Shipped with every Sound Blaster.
not so
card.
much.
You have to agree with
Every PC gamer though.
But
knew
sometimes,
lemmings.
sometimes you just want to shoot a Nazi in the face. I picked the original first-person shooter, Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh yeah.
It's
Which,
better.
to credit, out of all these games, 2 of these games I've played in the last week.
I haven't played it.
By the way, it wasn't Lemon.
Every
I didn't
time
think so.
Wolfenstein 3D. Wolfenstein 3D, you can literally play it on everything
By the
because
way,
it's got
your
such a
original pick I
fan
have played
base
in the last week.
that every new fucking platform, somebody hacks a
It's
version
ported.
of it.
Yeah, it's one of the first
Right?
games that gets ported to pretty
it's
much
one
anything.
of the first games that ever gets
When the
hacked
PSP
onto
got
anything.
hacked, one of the first games that came out. was
Exactly, because everybody fucking loves this game. They even put it in the new one, which is
Yeah, you can
decent.
actually, like, bring
The
it up.
new one is decent. It's not quite the same, but they have it so you
You're
can
talking
go
the new
into
order,
and
right?
play the old game.
Yeah, New Order is what you're talking
It's
about.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's just the old game. Everybody fucking wants to play this game. It's the original. It brings you, like you said, for yours, it brings you right back. It brings
I have
anybody my age right back.
I have
to,
nightmares about that game.
to that being that moment where you went, holy fuck, a computer can do this? Like this first person
It was
shooter,
really ahead of its time.
way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, it's a fun
not
genre,
just
right?
that it's ahead of its time. It's simple. It's not complicated, but it's still fucking fun.
Remember when you
It's
walked?
still fun to go through, even if you know where all the fucking hidden walls are, even where
Well,
you
like,
know
I
all
played-
that stuff. It's still fun.
I used to play it on my iPhone and
it's
fucking
really fucking hard on its hardest level.
Oh yeah, it is. It's real
So
hard.
it's still got
especially
that
when,
bit
especially
where
when Hitler comes out with his little fucking
with
Gatling
the
guns.
Gatling guns and stuff, like it's crazy. Everybody loves this game.
It's also ridiculous,
And it's
too.
something.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
why
said.
it's the game that's best to still play today is because it does get ported. Every new fucking device gets this game, not because of ID. They don't do it. Fans do it
No, that's
because they want to play it on their new device. That's why
Alright.
it's the best.
I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. You're not in this. I'm just letting you know
Are you
now.
fucking kidding me?
You're
Lemmings
not
ain't in this?
No,
Oh, yeah.
Lemmings ain't in this. All right. So
In your defense, it was a Chris answer.
That was my second answer.
that was his original.
What was your
answer.
original answer?
Mega
My
Man.
original answer was Mega Man.
Oh,
that was
Such a better answer.
And he said he wanted to change it. I can't.
For
comment
difficulty
one way or the
level? Oh my god, Mega Man is. You're
I fucking love Lemmings.
Oh
I
my God.
fucking love
Mega Man is
Lemmings.
so good. I want to play Mega Man right now.
To
I
his
fucking
credit,
love Lemmings.
To his credit, though, Lemmings is a fun game. I
Lemmings
I
is
like
fucking
it.
amazing.
more than
game.
Mega Man?
I fucking love Lemmings.
Which one would
See,
you?
the problem with Mega Man is fun, but it pisses you off. It gets you pissed off after a little while.
See, my only
and
argument
then you're
for
like,
Mega
you're
Man
like,
was
fuck this, and then you drop it and you're done, right? You're like, mic down, fuck this shit, right?
Yeah,
Lemmings, you walk away and you cry.
You get
Lemmings,
like you
you
get to
don't
like
stop.
cut.
No,
You
you
get to
just
like
play.
cut
You just
man,
keep
and you're
going.
like, fuck this shit. Fuck this game.
Cut man can fuck himself.
Lemmings just keeps you going.
And the worst thing about Mega
Don't
Man
stop on Lemmings.
in Mega Man, you think, okay, well, I'll just go to another one of the games, right? Because, like, Mega
No,
Man
they're all
pretty hard. Mega Man 2, harder than 1.
You ride a fucking dog.
And then Mega Man 3, they start bringing
It's
in
a robot
fucking-
dog.
What was the robot dog?
This became the Mega Man podcast.
Rush, yeah. So, and then they, not only did they make the game kind of complicated when they started with 3, they also added another character that you have to care about and deal with, which was the fucking dog. And then, on top of that...
I love that fucking dog.
I know, but it's still a game that pisses everyone off. But it's still a
But hey,
great
Lemmings
game.
is the same thing. Pisses
Lemmings
everyone
didn't
off.
piss me off nearly as much. Wow, you really...
I fucking love
Look at this
Lemmings.
guy, he's getting all...
Lemmings are fucking amazing. Dave right now is fucking stewing
he is
because he fucking loves Lemmings.
Loving that scotch. He's not loving video games, he's loving that scotch right there.
He
Actually,
is fucking loving Lemmings.
Lemmings was a game I never liked.
How could you never fucking like Lemmings?
Okay, are we gonna get to our
Because it was-
All right. Anyway, I got a podcast to run. You two can talk about this in a little bit. All right. Tell me right now why your game is better than his.
why it's still fun to
And I
play
want
today.
it quick. Yeah.
Okay, well it's
Try to sell me on why I should play your game over his.
okay. Well, you see, the thing is, this is a more casual game. You see, it has more fun, more broad audience, which means more people can still find it fun to play.
Why is
whereas
it-
Wolfenstein is more of an action game where you need to, sometimes you don't want to think. Sometimes you just want to jump on Goombas. You want to float with your tail. You want to be really awesome.
So basically, you're saying your mechanic is simpler.
It's simpler, so it makes it more enjoyable.
It's a more casual pick up and play.
True.
No.
Space to open a door. Right click to shoot a fucking Nazi in the face. It doesn't get any simpler than that.
Yeah, but you have to have like good reflex. You have to.
And that was before you even looked up and down. Like everything you're playing like this.
Boom! Shoot a Nazi in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to think.
Either he was dead or he went and kept coming.
So you had the graphic. You had the graphic of the gun, and as long as there was a Nazi above it, you shot him.
You cannot go.
You can't miss him.
You cannot argue simplicity.
No, that's pretty
between.
No, I had the broader audience.
Between Mario 3.
It's like an R-rated game, is what he was saying.
And so more people can enjoy it, and that's why it's more fun to play today because more people can.
So your whole methodology is it's got a much more accessible audience.
Yes, because that makes it more
bullshit. Barely anybody cares about raccoons. Everybody would love to shoot a Nazi in the face. My game is for everyone. Absolutely everyone.
I actually agree. Give this one to Jeff.
Eamon.
I am not Jeff.
That's
you know what? No!
I am Dave Mader.
No, you know what?
Wait, I'm Dave Mader.
Who are you?
I'm Dave Mader.
There you go.
Can I be Dave Mader?
Yes! That's the point.
Anyways, no, you are wrong because if it's...
I'm not wrong.
Because you have to think to play Wolfenstein. You have to think to play Wolfenstein.
No, you don't!
Yes,
That's the beautiful part.
You do want to get to the harder level.
Alright. Yeah, when you get to 100 difficulty.
Open the door, shoot Nazi.
Jody has closed the door.
Thou shalt cast thy vote. I'm giving it to Kevin.
Because I'm fucking right. You're arguing.
Yeah, you argued that one a little wrong.
Well, there's 3 buttons that you have to press to shoot Nazis in the face.
Alright, so just to sum it up, 3 for Kevin, 2 for Tim. Eamon got 1, which unfortunately means he has to leave us now.
Tim versus Kevin. This should be
So it's
interesting.
going to be Tim. You're in the speed round, pal.
For sure.
I'm going to go with the 3 open revs in front of you.
That's a very womanly trait right there. Having a bunch of drinks unfinished.
I think he's calling you a woman, and we haven't even started this yet.
That's okay. He's already out, so I really don't care.
Wait until he hears. No, he's not out.
He's ahead of you by 1.
Oh.
I'm winning at this point.
Alright.
Not really. So when we hit the speed round, it's all even.
Alright,
bitch.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No,
That's not
You're
how
winning
it
by a
works.
point.
No, you still have to come back from 1, down 1.
He's point up right now. Alright, so movies, quick speed question. So I'm going to pick 2 items. You guys, first person to say it gets to argue that. Alright? Which video game movie is the best?
Street Fighter.
Okay, I haven't said the 2 questions yet.
Well, he gave you 2 options.
Alright? Out of these 2 picks, which one's the best? And funny enough, you did mention one that I was going to say. Street Fighter or Double Dragon?
Street Fighter.
Alright, you got to pick Double Dragon. Alright, Street Fighter, tell me why it's better than Double Dragon.
Because Street Fighter.
By the way, just on the credit, both these are terrible.
Both movies are terrible, but Street Fighter at least lives up to the owners of the video game. And Street Fighter, you know what, is a terrible movie, but Jean-Claude Van Damme does a good job playing the role of Guile.
He's really channeling Chris now, eh? Have you noticed this? Like, he's starting to really sound like Chris. Alright, anyway, go ahead.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme does do a good job playing Guile, leading the role. Chung-Li, she's fucking hot in that movie.
Who plays her?
I have no fucking clue, but she's hot in the movie.
Okay.
The remake was the chick from Smallville.
Fucking Double
The
Dragon.
original one.
Double Dragon is a fucking joke.
Alright.
That movie is a fucking joke.
Why is Double Dragon
all
better?
out.
Both of these movies, I'm just going to go off on a tangent here. Both of these movies are a fucking joke. Video game movies suck.
They do.
They suck ass. Therefore, I have no idea why Double Dragon is better because I don't watch movies that suck ass.
But there's
Oh,
no thing as
fucking
Double
video
Dragon
game.
being better because it's a terrible movie. to
Alright,
begin with.
well,
I have no idea.
one
Fucking,
person argued, one person didn't.
I'm
so
not
Tim's
arguing.
getting it.
I'm just saying
All right,
all
we're tied
fucking video game movies
now
are
tied up.
bullshit.
Bison was the ultimate.
I just want that on the record. They shouldn't exist. Stop fucking making them, you fucking dicks.
Okay. Television. What, in your opinion, is the most memorable video game commercial?
Don't know one.
Do you
The
know
Power Glove.
All right, he wins.
Now you're playing with power.
Can I
He
say?
wins, you can't argue.
Made you want it so bad because now you're playing
You
with
got
power.
any commercial to go with
No.
here? No.
I have
All right,
nothing.
we're just gonna give it to Kevin then.
We'll just give it away.
All right, we'll give it away.
So
to
it's
Kevin.
4-3, Kevin.
Yeah, so now it's Kevin's up right now. Alright, music. Now we talked earlier about Super Mario Brothers, the original. Both of you are very familiar with it, I assume.
Yeah.
Out of the stages, and there was only four stages realistically that had music. Out of those stages, which is more memorable? The underwater music?
No,
or the underground music?
underwater, underground.
Alright.
Underground. I
You're
agree.
gonna take- you're-
Underground.
You have
I
to say
agree.
underwater because he
Well,
picked
you
under.
gotta argue underwater now.
Okay, the underground. Underwater.
This isn't gonna last long, so we gotta get through this because he's had way too many reps now.
Everybody
What are you on now,
knows.
10?
Everybody knows. Did it? Or everybody knows. Did it? There you go. See, I don't even need to do it. Dave's gonna just go on. It's
right,
most
what about
memorable, please.
What's better about the underwater music?
How'd the underwater
All he
go?
did was argue a little bit of the song. All he did was argue a little bit of the song.
Oh, right, the underwater
But
song.
the song, Underwater, everybody knows.
No,
But then you just keep it here going.
everybody
Wanna
knows
hear
it
it?
once one person gets it going. But everybody knows the underground music. They can just do it.
So it's still a trilogy song that will carry on. I personally don't know it. I personally can't tell you it. But what I'm arguing is that
That's like
song,
one Seymour for another.
but that song,
It's like
Can
Dave
carry
on
on?
fucking Black Velvet.
Oh
I-
god.
but that
No,
song
not even close. It's
Not even as bad, yeah.
can carry on a Super Mario
Tim's still
trilogy
talking. Keep in mind that.
to keep going. That song can carry on a trilogy that will keep going.
What trilogy?
What?
What are you talking about?
There were
Alright.
no water levels.
I think I win
I'm giving
because
it
I
to
don't
Kevin.
even think he's going with the same video game. I think he's going rogue.
Just to let you know, Tim,
Yeah.
You're down 2.
you're down 2, and you kind of have to win this next one.
You have to win the
Alright.
next one or you lose.
Hey Kevin, I had to try.
You're in.
There's like,
Well, let's put it this way: if you don't win the next one, Kevin wins this podcast.
All right, I'm winning the next one.
so
All
we're gonna
right,
have to-
all right.
All right, balls to the wall, boys.
Hey Chris, I'll give you this one.
What am I gonna do?
What category are we doing now?
Sports.
Technically, it's supposed to be sports, but that doesn't mean I have to do it, do I?
Do sports.
Do
Come
whatever.
on.
Do whatever. Who
sports?
gives a shit?
Sports is mine. Sports is mine and Kevin's both game. Right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't even know what that meant, but I'll give you a high five.
Hey,
Sure,
we both
hands out there.
are good on sports over anything else.
Sure. Yeah.
Sports. What is the one sport you would like to see made into a successful video game franchise?
Bocce ball.
All right, what about you?
Think about what Chris and I do together.
Curling.
Oh, I thought it was hand jobs.
And Jody gets the point.
I got a point. I'm hosting it. It's amazing. Anyway, all
got a
right.
point.
Cool.
All right, I went
Make your
bocce
case
ball.
for bocce ball.
I love bocce ball, and with all the fucking technology of actually being able, like, I mean, they even already sort of have this for the Wii U, the bocce ball game, but it's or not the Wii U, for the Wii. Not really
I
a
didn't even know there
successful
was a bocce
game.
ball game
Yeah,
for the
it's, exactly.
I'm down with that.
It's not successful.
Isn't that
Was
the
it good,
same
though?
thing as
It was
curling?
good.
So, like, if I get it, you'll play.
Yeah,
Nice. Do you have it?
I'm guessing
I
he's
had
lying.
Oh.
but I'd like to see more.
Okay.
More.
But you want to see something.
I wanted to
successful,
see
which is the
something
whole point of the
successful.
question.
No, it wasn't for the Wii. It was I'm fucking retarded. No, it was for the PlayStation.
Well, we know that.
Move. Thanks. The PlayStation
Oh, I
Move.
have a PlayStation Move.
It was for the
I don't have any
PlayStation.
games for
It was
it.
for the PlayStation Move, and
Except
it
for that
was
terrible sports one.
but it never took off. But bocce ball is fucking awesome to play in your living room, and it's one of the very few sports games that actually translates really well to the move mechanics, like to
Oh, yeah? All right.
video game.
All right, I'm down with that. All right.
See, I was always a very big bowler. So I always was thinking like that bowling would be a good
What did you
game.
pick?
Curling.
Curling.
Oh, okay. I have a curling game on my DS. It's pretty sweet.
Might
I
be
think
more
curling's a solid
realistic
pick.
because bowling,
That
I've
is
always
solid.
been a huge bowler.
Like I played in bowling leagues for 10 years.
And let's be honest. Bowling is one of the only things that sold the Wii originally.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Wii bowling.
Yeah, bowling's
The Wii
already
sports thing.
successful, but curling is not. His pick is not.
No, curling's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
And getting your actual technique, it's taken a few years. And getting downtown to get that down packed. It takes time to get the technique with sweeps and everything going down to hit the spot. And you have to hit the spot. And I think curling, over anything any of them have said, they all think fast-paced games.
Any of us? There's
I don't know. Bocce ball is a fast-paced
Not really
game.
a fast-paced game.
It's a lot faster-paced game.
I mean, if you're standing in front of somebody playing bocce ball, you better be fast. But it's not really a fast-paced game.
Hey,
If you're having like Sunday dinner with your family, like
lot faster paced than curling.
is it
right?
though? Is that? I don't think that's what.
Bocce ball would be faster. Yeah.
Yeah, bocce ball is a lot faster.
Bocce ball.
Okay.
You're looking at two bocce
Not
balls.
much faster, but it would be faster.
You're
It's
looking at
essentially the same game.
two
Same
bocce.
game, just done differently.
There's no
what?
sweeping in bocce ball.
There's two bocce balls
No,
to every
there's
single
no way you
curling
can
ball.
No, there's lots of drinking.
Yeah, that's not sweeping.
But there's two bocce.
You're right.
But that's what I mean. There's
Alright.
There's two bocce balls.
I'm gonna go just on
To
the
every
point
curling
alone,
ball.
and I'm gonna give him the point because it was a good pick. And honestly,
It is
I
an
want to
excellent
see a
pick.
very popular curling game. I'd like to play it.
I think it would be a good game.
The curling game that I played on DS was fan fucking.
And you know what? Oh, is there a curling game?
There is a curling
I've
game.
never seen a curling game. That's why I thought his pick might be better.
Yeah, you got a card, right?
There are games, but
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I
it
win.
stopped working.
All right, so Kevin right now is only up by 1 now, which means you're still in the game,
Anybody's
brother.
game.
And now we go to history. In all video game history, what is the worst character to ever show up in an actual game? Like, when you think of annoying fucking characters, what comes to mind?
Navi.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Hey, listen!
Yes.
Hey, listen!
Does that count? That
Navi?
counts, right?
Yeah,
Navi.
Navi is a character.
Yes.
Do you got any pick, buddy?
So I'm thinking. All right, we'll go Yoshi.
Navi.
Yoshi's at least useful. Navi, come on.
Let's
Hey, listen! Hey, and then she just fucking tells you shit you already know
Yeah.
all the fucking time.
Now he tells you everything about everything twice.
Yeah.
Exactly, and you already know it both fucking times.
She'll tell you
It's
something.
the worst.
She'll tell you something. You walk 5 steps, and
But
then
you
she'll go,
can't do anything
"By the
until
way,
you
remember,
listen.
You can do this.
She's the worst. It's just the worst. It's annoying.
So anybody who isn't familiar with who Navi is the little flying little fairy
Sprite
fucking
thing.
sprite thing from the
Legend of Zelda.
So
Ocarina.
Ocarina of Time
Ocarina of
and
Time.
Majora Mask.
Yeah, I know.
listen.
Hey, listen. Oh,
Also, why can she talk but nobody else? Why do I have to read everything else? Why can she say, "Hey, listen"?
because that's the only.
Because
sound
nobody
I
can
play.
voice act.
Fucking
That
shit.
sound.
Not only that, but if you notice, Link doesn't talk.
Nobody does.
Link doesn't talk in any of
They
these.
make
Fucking
sounds.
is a fucking text game where
They
you
make
run
sounds
around
like,
a bit.
"Huh, huh,
Whoa.
huh, huh."
Okay.
Why is Yoshi annoying?
I said fucking Yoshi and I have no fucking answer for it.
Yoshi's like
So I win that one, I guess.
He has big fucking testicles. Is
All
that
right.
enough?
Well,
his big testicles.
I'm not annoyed
I
by
don't
his
even
big
think Yoshi.
testicles.
I
Is
don't
Yoshi
think-
a girl or a boy?
I think I'm a girl.
He's a fucking boy.
But they poop
Actually,
eggs.
that's a really great fucking question.
I'm already hitting the internet.
That is
I
a
actually
great
don't know that.
question.
If Yoshi can lay eggs, that's a girl,
Well, it
Not
depends.
necessarily.
That's for humans.
True.
right?
That's for humans.
There are so many
If,
big
if
testicles.
Yoshi's
Mario.
laying eggs, that's a woman.
This is Mario.
That's a woman dinosaur.
If it was
Everybody
the-
thinks of Yoshi as a man.
Are you
but
trying to
that's
tell
a
me
good
from pissing?
question.
Do you think like that Mario uses Yoshi for sexual?
Also, Yoshi's
Favors.
way into
Quite possibly.
knitting, apparently. And that's predominantly
I'd like to wrap
women.
it
Does he think about that long tongue? Right?
According to Wikipedia, Yoshi
You know
is a
what?
male.
I would actually love
Yoshi's
Yeah.
a boy?
Yoshi's a boy.
But how does it have eggs?
I don't know, the
Because
eggs.
it's not-
He's not
It's
a
from
seahorse.
Mario.
that long tongue could actually feel nice.
With seahorses, is it not the male?
Why are we arguing about
egg
what
is
gender
first, but
Yoshi
the woman
is?
has the eggs.
Because we want to know, damn it.
I was actually thinking that tongue would feel
Well,
nice.
then I think Internet Zero, Dave won.
No. Is that so? Has Kevin won this round?
Kevin has won the podcast.
Kevin has won the whole show, right?
Yeah, so
Again.
congratulations, Kevin.
Kevin, you're right up there with the greats now.
Seymour made it almost to the end.
I'm not up there with the greats, Dave. I am the greats.
I'm Dave Mader.
Yeah.
This week I'm at the end.
They're right up there
Right
with
at the
me, is what you say.
All right. So that being said,
We're gonna smoke
we're gonna end
before
this
we
now.
go.
You don't have to leave the
No, we're
apartment.
all done. Let's just sign off and be done with it.
Well, we're signing off on the podcast.
You
We're
don't
all
have-
drinking.
You don't have to leave the apartment because the show's over.
No, but we never smoke before we do.
You didn't drive.
The show's over. We're just gonna say goodbye.
We're just saying goodbye.
How did you get here, by the way? Did you
There's
drive?
no show final.
He was outside the place.
Show's over. You lost.
How'd you get here?
I
How did I
win.
lose?
What?
Because I win. And only one person can win.
You didn't argue Yoshi, so he won that point, and he had enough points to win the round. So he's done.
There's no.
No, you're done.
I also
You're
win because
mathematically
you
eliminated.
You got eliminated.
You're mathematically eliminated.
There's no wild card.
Hey,
Not
no
say
reason
goodbye. There's no
to
reason
Pain
to. It's like
Voice.
winning in the 9th inning at the
Nah.
top of the 9th.
I've got
Right?
it.
just do it for me.
They don't play the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it.
You already won.
Just do a Bane voice. Come on, do something. Say something in a
Okay,
Bane
I'm waiting
voice.
for my turn.
Okay.
You don't have to wait for your turn. Just do it.
Oh,
for me.
okay. So we're
I
gonna
want to
do
hear
sign
a
off
Bane
now,
voice.
are we?
Yes.
Okay. So I, Jody Simpson, I was the host, and obviously a good one. What about you?
Tim Seymour, host, which should have won.
Dave Mader was here to be a sounding board and a fact checker while, as long
And
as
he didn't do any of them.
I am also Dave Mader. The only way he's going to win legitimately.
Oh!
Dave Mader.
Is that supposed to be like Bane?
Okay, bye.
So for all of us at Trivial Debates, fuck off!
Okay. Peace out, bitches.